Hi everyone, it's Binny here with Beauty by Binny, and today I'm going to do a tutorial for you that's inspired by all the beautiful colors in fall. And this is definitely an evening look for me, but the eye makeup can be worn during the daytime as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I used my favorite foundation primer, which is Laura Mercier, and then after that I used MAC's Full Coverage Foundation in NC35. Then I used Urban Decay's Primer Potion and applied that to my top and bottom lids, and then I just blended it out using my fingers. Now I'm going to let my foundation set, and in the meantime I'm going to move on to my brows. I'm using Spiked Eyebrow Pencil by MAC, and I like to start out underneath at the lower part of my brows and just kind of make a line across from the inner corner to the outer corner. Then I use the pencil to kind of fill in any gaps that I have. Just use short strokes. You don't want to make harsh lines. Next, I'm using this brow powder by Merle Norman and the brush that it came with just to fill in any additional gaps. And then once that's done, use a spoolie or a clean brush and just brush out your brows so they don't look too harsh. The first eyeshadow I'm going to use today is by Trish McAvoy, and it is a yellow gold color called Glaze 18K, and the brush that I'm using is by MAC. It's one of my favorite MAC brushes, and it's their 217 brush. So basically I'm just using the eyeshadow on the inner 2/3 of my eyes, onto the inner corners of my eyes, and blending it out towards basically underneath my brow, like following the entire brow line. After that, I'm using Half Baked from the Urban Decay Naked palette, which is a stronger gold color, and I'm applying that right into the center of my lid using the same brush. Then I'm taking Buck, also from the Urban Decay Naked palette, and this brush by e.l.f., and I'm going to create a crease. So I'm basically blending the shadow right into my crease, kind of giving it a deeper look. And it's okay if you don't have these colors. You can use any neutral brown shades and any golds that you like. The eyeshadow palette that I'm using today is by Clarins, and it's their Forest palette. I'm not sure if they still make this anymore, but there's a lot of different eyeshadows that are very similar, and I'm sure you have some lying around that you can use for this look. So the first color I used is this copper shade, and I'm applying that with the e.l.f. brush to the outer third of my eyes. And then I'm going to use this MAC 224 and blend out the inner part of the eyes because I don't want it to look like too harsh lines. I want the center to be blended. To make my eyeshadow look more vibrant, I actually wet the brush using MAC's Fix Plus, and then I reapplied the eyeshadow to the outer third of my eyes. And look how much brighter it looks now. Then I blended out the center once again, just a little bit. And then I added a little more of the Buck eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Naked palette to make my crease look a little bit stronger and deeper. Now I'm using this beautiful light green shimmery shade, and I'm going to use a MAC 219 pencil brush and just run that shadow along my lower lash line, starting from the inner corner to the outer corner. Then I added some MAC Fix Plus to the pencil brush, and I'm using this eyeshadow by Urban Decay called Mildew. I'm adding the eyeshadow to the outer 2/3 of my lower lash line. And again, the benefit of using Fix Plus or any mixing medium is that it's going to give the color a more vibrant look, and your eyeshadow is going to have less fallout as well. And if you don't have any mixing mediums or Fix Plus, you can use water. It works just as well. Then I extended the eyeshadow from the lower lash line straight out into a wing. And you should have something that looks like this. And now I'm going to line my waterline using this black coal pencil by MAC, and it's called Feline. Also, don't forget to add the black eyeliner into your tear ducts as well. Okay guys, so the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to use this felt tip eyeliner by L'Oreal. It's called their Intense Liner in Carbon Black, and I'm going to draw a very thin line above my upper lashes. A great way to do this is to hold a mirror and look down into the mirror and then use short strokes to draw the line. After that, I used the eyeliner and I extended it out into a wing above the green eyeshadow. I didn't dip it back into the bottle, I just used whatever was left on the brush. Since my makeup is for a night out, I'm definitely going to apply false lashes. These are 107s by Red Cherry Lashes, and the glue that I'm using is my favorite lash glue, which is Duo Lash Adhesive in clear. And you want to wait for 30 seconds for the glue to dry, and then after that, set the lash down center first. Then push in the outer corner and the inner corner. You can use your fingers to push down the lashes or use tweezers to hold down the corners. The corners are where the lashes come off the easiest, so you want to make sure that you hold those down as long as possible. And then I just use my fingers to pinch my natural lashes and the false lashes together, and after that just wait for them to dry. And just look at how big of a difference it makes when you apply false lashes. I wish my real lashes looked like that every day. Next, I'm going to cover any visible glue using the same black liquid liner and just wait for that to dry a little bit. After that, I'm adding one of my favorite mascaras, which is Rimmel's Sexy Curves Mascara, and I'm adding that to the top and bottom lashes. You want to make sure that your false lashes are brushed into your natural lashes. Okay, so next I'm using this concealer by Sheer Cover in light medium. It's basically the one that came in everybody's glam bags. And the brush I'm using is by Real Techniques. I'm applying the concealer under my eyes, taking it above my cheekbones, over my brows, down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit right over my chin. And now I'm using this sponge called a Beauty Blender to blend out all my concealer. I know that it looks a little bit crazy right now, but once you blend it all in, I promise it's going to look really good, and your skin's going to look much brighter. And once again, this is for an evening look. I would never wear this much concealer during the day. Next, I'm going to set my foundation and cover up any oily spots using MAC's Studio Fix. The color that I'm using is NC40. Just pat it over any oily spots that you have or anywhere you need a little extra coverage. To give my skin a flawless finish, I'm using this buffing brush by Real Techniques. I absolutely love this brush for my skin, and basically you just use it in a circular motion and blend your foundation, powder, and your concealer together. Okay, next I'm using Blunt by MAC to do some contouring, and this brush is another great brush by Real Techniques. Using just a little bit of the contouring powder, start from the inner corners of your brows and work a straight line down on each side of your nose. This is definitely going to make your nose look a little slimmer and more straight. Next, I applied some contouring powder over my forehead, my temples, and into the hollows of my cheeks. Then, to make my face look slimmer, I added a little bit of the contouring powder under my jawline and over my chin. And now I'm going to go over the contouring powder with this Bare Minerals powder foundation. Sorry, I'm holding it upside down. I have a new camera and I'm still adjusting to it. But the color that I'm using is called Tan, and just again in a circular motion, I'm going over all the areas where I had applied the contouring powder, and this is kind of going to be my bronzer. Moving on to blush. The color that I'm using is by MAC and it's called Copper Tone. Another great MAC blush for this look would be Gingerly. Basically, any blush that has coppery or orangey tones would work for this look. After that, I'm using highlighter. This is a MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in By Candlelight, but basically any highlighter would work. And I've applied that over my cheekbones, down the sides of my brows, down the bridge of my nose, and I'm also applying it over my Cupid's bow to give my lips a fuller effect. Then I went back to that first gold eyeshadow that I used, and I went over all the areas where I highlighted once again. I really like the way this is going to add a slight hint of gold to the highlight. For my lips, I first used this coppery orange lipstick by MAC called Thrills. After that, I used this bright orange color called Mandarina by Milani Cosmetics, and I applied that right to the center of my lips. Then I added a lip gloss by Benefit Cosmetics. It's this beautiful peachy color called Squeezed. To finish off the look, I'm adding a little blush right over to the apples of my cheeks. The color I'm using is NARS Orgasm. And this pretty much completes our look for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching Beauty by Binny. Please subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Twitter. And I'm coming out with a new website, so look out for that. Have a beautiful fall, guys. Take care. Mwah.